Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to make these flowers. You can either make them with 3 different colors in the petals, or you can make them with 2. And eventually, you can turn them into something like this. So we'll start off with what you're going to need. Each flower has 7 petals. So you're going to need 7 of each size ribbon. We'll start off talking with just the 2 colors. So the first one is the 5/8 ribbon, which is going to be this smaller one here. And the next one is the outer part, which is the 7/8 ribbon, which would be this one. It's a little bit wider. And then if you wanted to make the 3rd color, you're looking at the larger one here, the 1 1/2. You're also going to need a glue gun. I found it easier to use a candle rather than just using a lighter every time. The lighter gets hot and runs out of fluid. Your also best bet is to get yourself a set of pliers. So the first thing you have to figure out is whether or not your ribbon is double-sided. If it has a shiny side and a dull side, you want to keep that in mind when you're folding your petals. So the first thing you're going to do is get your candle. Alright, so we have our candle. Your petal is going to fold over. Now if you have a dull side and a shiny side, you want the dull side to face you. And you just want to fold it over like this. Now if you're folding a bunch of these petals, make sure they all go in the same direction. So don't fold one this way and then fold the other this way, because in the end you will have them facing different directions and it'll look funny. So you'll fold it this way, and then you'll just bring it together. Now this is where I found it easier to use a candle instead of trying to sew it. It just never turned out the way I wanted it to. So you just get the edge just enough to where you can press it together. And then your edge is stuck and you have this side here. So this is going to be your dull side, this will be your back, and this is what your front should look like. And then you would just take the ends here with your shiny side up and just put them together like this, and then you're blurring that together and seal it. So that would be the inside of your petal. I'll show you that one more time. So again, you want your dull side facing you. Fold it over in half. And then fold it like this. And then once again, flip it over so that it's the flat side. Put your ends together. And you have the inside of your petal. So now to do the color that goes around it. Now you can make just the single color petals. I mean, they would go together just fine. That's up to you as well. So we'll just set this down here for a second. Now you have your next size up, and again this is a 2.5 inch long piece, or this one was 2 inches. So this one is the same on both sides, so I don't have to worry about a dull side and a shiny side. But again, you want to make sure that you fold it in the same direction. And now that you have this piece done, you'll flip it over, make sure you got your flat side here, and this is where your little open end is, and you can tell the difference because on this side you have the little pocket where you can put your finger there. You want the flat side. So this is when you're gonna put the petals together. You take your inside petal here, and then you want to just line this corner up on here, and just line this edge and this edge of these two petals. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. You'll just flip it over, make sure the two edges are lined up. See how they fit inside of each other, and all of this is flush. And then you can just pinch it right here, and then you're going to burn all four of these together. You want to get this one a little bit more into the fire because you want a really good seal on this. And then you just put it together. And there is that petal. And I'll show you that one more time. Again, I don't have to worry about a flat side and a smooth side. So I will just fold it over. And I will take my other side here, line it up, both edges are flush, flip it over, line up this side as well. And there you have those. Now I will show you real quick if you wanted to put the third color on here. These are a little bit trickier with the bigger pieces. They're a little harder to get to stick together. Again, I don't have a shiny and a dull side on this one either, but I do, again, want to make sure it goes in the same direction as the rest of them. Like I said, the bigger pieces are a little trickier, but you're going to do it the same way here. You take your piece that you already have the two petals put together, and again, you're just going to line up your edges. You line up here, and you line up here, and you'll flip this one over, and you'll notice that there's a considerable amount on the outside, as well as a lot of extra down in here. But, so you want to make sure your top edge, they're all lined up together. And I imagine you could probably layer this with as many layers as you wanted with different colors. So there's the piece there. So to speed things along, each petal or each flower has 7 petals. Go ahead and blow out your candle. Now if you're making a bunch of these, your best bet is to go ahead and make all of your petals first, and then come back and use your glue gun to put these together. And this is just, it was a trial and error thing, so you're gonna mess some up, I promise, and that's okay. So you just gently put just enough glue on the edge there, and then you'll just put these two edges together. And you want to make sure that your top is flush here. And you don't want, you want to put just enough, if you can see kind of where it's miscolored here, that's, you don't want to go any further back on your petal than that, otherwise it's not going to, they're not gonna kind of open up and flow a little bit. So and again, you're just making sure that all of your top pieces here are just kind of flush together. You can see it's just kind of coming around. Oh, we have one coming apart over here. We'll just put a little bit. You're gonna have the little string of glue, you can just worry about that later. You can get it all off. Now with the last petal, you can do it one of two ways. You can either continue to do it the way we were doing it, where you just put a little on the edge here and push that together and then come back and put some on this side. But once you go along and you've made a couple of these, you might feel comfortable just going ahead and putting it on both sides here. And then kind of push this one on this side. And then just fold it over like this. But again, it's however you're comfortable. And I don't think our glue gun was quite hot enough because we've got another one coming apart here. Now you might have some along the way, you shouldn't have too many, but you might have some where you can see the white ribbon here has kind of come apart from where we sealed it together there, and you can just go back and touch that up with the glue gun in little places to kind of make it nice and neat. However, wherever you feel like there might need a little dab of glue. But I wouldn't worry too much about the center because you're probably, no matter how great you are at putting these together, you're going to want something in the middle to kind of cover up those burnt edges. So like with this one here, I've got the little pearl in the center, and then this just has kind of the little gem. And this one has a stem made out of just the bendy like flower stems that you can buy at Michael's, and then I attached like some of the leaves that you can get from it as well. But the other way you can do it is just the little flower sticks, and then you would just put a lot of glue down here at the bottom. You need and then just kind of hold it there. And you can just set it aside to dry. And you can end up, they've got the big sticks, the small sticks. These ones are the shorter ones. And that's how I made like my bridesmaids bouquets. You can actually get this bouquet holder at usually any craft store, but I got mine at Michael's. And this is styrofoam on the inside, and you just put it in the styrofoam and build it around. And this one here was a little bit different. There was this plastic piece underneath. You can see it's got the little pieces here, and then this tool is attached to it as well. It was just that piece there, and it was open in the bottom. So I took a half of the big like balls of styrofoam and glued it onto this plastic piece here, and then put a wooden dowel through the bottom and just wrapped the wooden dowel. And that would be how you make these flowers without having to sew, and therefore without having to pull your hair out.